4th of March 2023, the Independent National Electoral Commission announced Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So you, they want to hear that announcement be made that I have been elected the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
About 4 a.m. in the morning, upon the declaration of the President, the Nigerian army was sent on the streets of Abuja and some of other states beef up security, thinking that the opposition will hit the streets in protest as a result of the fact that their candidate was not announced as the winner. Unfortunately, the main opposition chose to take the people's mandate back through the court. But then, the constitution was interpreted in a frivolous manner on the 6th of September 2023. After the president was sworn in, president and the 16th president of Nigeria, he took one of the most uncalculative decisions ever in the history of mankind.
On fuel subsidy, unfortunately, the budget that I've glimpsed before I assume office and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. So fuel subsidy is gone.
This singular act sent Nigeria into an economic pandemonium. Shortly after that, the naira was floated and the inflation rate went up as the fuel price went 4 times the price at which it was being sold as of the time the speech was being given at the Eagle Square by the president. No civil society group or even the labor union could question the president for taking such a harsh decision without due process. And months later, the president approached the National Assembly demanding loan for the supplementary budget for 2023. But then, he also went ahead to demand for SUV for his wife, as well as a presidential yacht, of which the social media in Nigeria went on fire. There was a lot of criticism. We talked about this intensively on this channel. But then, this matter died a natural death up to date, as the presidents and the presidency came out to say that even the presidential yacht was not meant for the president, but for the Navy. And this brings us to the question, where in the world do Navy make use of a yacht? Months later, after the Court of Appeal judgment, the president went to Saudi Arabia, of which from there to Dubai, he announced that the visa ban on Nigerians has been lifted. This brought about serious celebration across Nigerians. But unfortunately, they found out that this announcement was nothing but lies. What about the security of the country? Since assuming office as the president of Nigeria, it went from bad to worst. On the eve of Christmas in 2023, a community was attacked by the bandits. But unfortunately, there was no any military personnel on site in order to help the community. But unfortunately, again, the president went mute. There was no comment. There was no anything to do about this particular crisis from just Plateau. And then, the governor of Plateau even went all the way to Lagos, for the homecoming of Mr. President, where they all celebrated the festive period while his people are being killed like flies in Plateau. The international community was drawn into this as the government continued to keep quiet about the lingering security crisis in the country. Even the Roman Catholic Pope went ahead on the 4th of January to usher in a prayer of support for those that lost their lives in Nigeria. When Nigerian leaders keep quiet over the killing of our own citizens, what exactly is then the achievement of Mr. President after 1 year in office? In 2024, we saw that almost over 10 soldiers, precisely 17 army, lost their life in a gory manner in South, of which, according to them, the Nigerian military, they said they went on a peacekeeping, of which they were waylaid and killed. And in return to that, the military leveled the whole community in Okwama. This has never left the minds of Nigerians as they continue to talk about this situation even up to date. But then, there was an ambush in Niger State. And then there was no statement. There was no leveling of the community. Just like we have a peacekeeping mission to Niger Delta, of which they were killed. This is also a peacekeeping mission by the military to the northern part of the country to bring down the insecurity in that. Upon the ambushment of the military, they were withdrawn totally, completely from Niger State. But then what happened? And it raises the question in the minds of Nigeria once again. Why the selective judgment? Justice to A and not giving justice to B. And this again will bring us to the issue. Plaza was shut down just because a military police was manhandled. In as much as this is condemnable, but we shouldn't forget that there must have been an issue, there are particular action. But then, when you look at it again, we have been unable to find out exactly what happened, because there have been a lot of stories flying around the media that the military police went there to the shop and assaulted one of the customers, and of which this resulted into what happened. Others believe that, they returned a phone and then there was an argument and then it resulted into what happened that very day. And up to date, the plaza has been shut down because a military police was beaten by civilians. But what happened when we have them being killed and we have civilians being attacked by armed bandits, and the response at which Nigerian government and the military respond to such situation cannot be quantified to the way and manner in which they respond when a civilian attack their president. And it raises another question to if the government partake in the insecurity in Nigeria.
It's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and of course in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians.
What about the $600 million investment by Mace in Nigeria announced by the government, only to be turned to be another blunted lie? What about the companies that left the country within the last 1 year? Not to talk about the increase of unemployment rate as a result of some of those policies that have been put in place that led to the closure of those companies. What about the demolition of landmark for road construction that is not even necessary, of which the president over the weekend even went for the flag off of this construction, of which now they have abandoned the routes where it leads to the landmark property which was demolished and returned back to the original plan. Now you see, the landmark group have now secured an agreement with the Gambian government to now take their investment down to that country. This is a country that is looking for foreign direct investment, but they are creating, problem for their indigenous company, closing down those companies, destroying their properties, and at the end of the day, what happened next? They leave for other countries, and many foreign companies are leaving the country. So what happened next for the country? When even they are looking for foreign direct investment, they couldn't get, but yet they are destroying the one that they have. Is it the appointment of his in-law into high political position? Is it about the son who stood before the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Saudi Arabia during a delegation? Is it the Asoko Road to Area 1 road that was commissioned and the flyovers? What are his achievements within the last 1 year? Or is it the renovation of the Third Mainland Bridge that was commissioned yesterday by the president in Lagos? Let's not forget that he also increased the electricity tariff since he has assumed office more than 2 times. And we have seen complaints coming from many companies as they can no longer afford to pay for electricity bill, that they don't even have the electricity in the first place. Let's not forget that the National Assembly was also in a mess when he went to present the 2024 budget, of which they sang a political party song for him on his mandate, They Will Stand, of which now 1 year or less than 3 months later, after which the National Assembly members sang that song for him when he presented the budget, he is now trying to shoo all his fans from singing that particular song for him in Lagos when he paid a visit. What do you make of all this? Did he achieve much within the last 1 year in office? there have been more of a negativity than positive achievement since he assumed office on the 29th of May 2023. If I get it wrong, please present me with facts and then I can bring them forth. But then these are some of the few things that we can lay our hands upon. What do you think? Thank you for watching.